For years, we've heard the same story. Faith in Britain is on its last legs. The headlines have practically written the obituary, telling us the churches are emptying, the pews are gathering dust, and a secular future is all but guaranteed. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if, while everyone was looking one way, something quietly revolutionary was happening right under our noses? A recent report has dropped a bombshell on the cultural landscape, revealing a shift that almost no one saw coming. According to data from the Bible Society, between 2018 and 2024, monthly church attendance among young men skyrocketed. Some analysis of the numbers shows a leap from just 4% to an incredible 21%. Now, academics are rightly debating the exact scale of this. Other analyses suggest a quadrupling to a more conservative 16%. But either way, the trend is undeniable. This isn't a statistical blip. It's one of the most significant cultural turnarounds this decade. So, what on earth is going on? It all starts with a set of numbers so counterintuitive, they demand a closer look. The research, primarily from a report called The Quiet Revival, paints a picture of religious resurgence among the young that flies in the face of the old narrative. And it's not just young men. Attendance among young women has also jumped significantly, from 3% to 12%. But the spike among men is so sharp it forces us to ask, why them? And why now? For decades, the cultural tide has been pulling away from organized religion. To see a reversal this dramatic is almost unprecedented in modern British history. It tells us something fundamental has shifted in our society. This isn't just about faith. This is about a generation grappling with the world it's been handed and finding answers in the last place anyone thought to look. The first, and maybe most important driver, is a raw search for meaning. We live in a world of infinite choice, but for many, that comes with a finite sense of purpose. The big ideas that used to anchor society, things like nation, community, and a shared belief in progress, have become fractured. If you're a young man trying to build a life, the world can feel like a chaotic ocean without a map or compass. What do you build your life on? What's the point? This isn't just a feeling. It's backed by data from the same research. A huge 80% of young church-going adults describe their life as meaningful and purposeful. Compare that to just 52% of their non-church-going peers. Christianity, at its core, offers a coherent worldview, a kind of manual for living. It gives you a moral framework and a transcendent purpose that stands against the background noise of modern nihilism. It gives you a story about who you are, why you're here, and how you should live. For young men brought up on a diet of irony and cynicism, the sheer sincerity and structure of faith can feel like a lifeline. It offers a solid foundation in a world that feels like it's built on shifting sand. Now, let's wade into more controversial waters, the so-called crisis of masculinity. Many young men get confusing and often negative signals about what it means to be a man. They hear that traditional masculine traits like ambition, strength, and stoicism are toxic. And while those conversations are vital for calling out genuinely harmful behavior, they've left a vacuum. Many men feel like they have no positive script to follow, no ideal to aim for. Into this vacuum steps the church. Far from labeling masculinity as toxic, Christianity proposes a powerful and positive vision of what a man can be. It presents the archetype of a servant king, a man who uses his strength not to dominate, but to serve. A man who leads by sacrificing, protects the vulnerable, and commits to his family and community. It calls men to discipline, integrity, and responsibility. It's probably no coincidence this is happening in the wake of the Jordan Peterson effect. Whatever you think of him, figures like Peterson cracked open the door for millions of young men to take ideas of myth, tradition, and personal responsibility seriously again. This conversation is just getting started, and it's clear there's a deep cultural shift happening. If you're finding this analysis valuable and want more content that unpacks faith and culture, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'm genuinely curious, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. Another huge piece of the puzzle is the silent epidemic of our time: loneliness. We're the most digitally connected generation in history, but arguably the most isolated. Social media gives us the illusion of connection, but often, it's just a curated feed of other people's best moments. Young men, especially, can struggle to forge deep, meaningful friendships. The church, when it's working right, is a direct antidote to this. It's a real face-to-face intergenerational community. It's a place where you're known by name. It's a network of actual people who show up when you're in trouble, celebrate with you, and walk through life's messes alongside you. The research backs this up, noting that many young people first attend because a friend or family member invited them. This isn't just about a weekly social club. It's about finding a sense of belonging that's rooted in something bigger. It's the difference between having 1,000 followers online and having 3 friends who'd help you move a sofa on a rainy Sunday. So if young men are looking for meaning and community, why pick something as old-fashioned as the church? The answer is that its very old-fashionedness is a huge part of the appeal. A generation raised in a fluid, you-do-you culture is growing suspicious of things that are easy. They don't seem to want a Christianity light that's been watered down to fit in. They want an authentic alternative, not a hollow echo. This is why we're seeing a gravitational pull towards the more traditional, demanding, and ritualistic expressions of faith. The Bible Society's survey reveals a fascinating detail. Among church-going 18 to 34-year-olds, an incredible 41% identify as Catholic. Now, it's crucial to add some context here. This doesn't mean Catholic churches are suddenly overflowing. In fact, the Catholic Church's own headcount shows that overall Sunday Mass attendance, while ticking up since the pandemic, remains well below pre-2020 levels. Still, it shows that among the young people who are choosing church, the more traditional forms have a potent appeal. They are drawn to the faith because it is countercultural, because it asks something of them, and because it offers a sense of ancient mystery that feels more real than the fleeting trends of the day. Finally, you can't tell this story without talking about diversity. The old stereotype of the British churchgoer, old, white, and rural, is hopelessly out of date. The UK church today is increasingly vibrant and ethnically diverse, largely thanks to immigration from Christian-majority countries. The numbers speak for themselves. Among churchgoers aged 18 to 54, nearly a third now come from an ethnic minority background, a figure much higher than in the general population. This infusion of energy and different perspectives has made the church a more dynamic and culturally relevant space. It simply looks and feels more like modern Britain. This creates a positive feedback loop. A more diverse church is a more welcoming church for young people from all backgrounds. It breaks down cultural barriers and shows that Christianity isn't just some relic of Britain's colonial past, but a living, breathing part of its globalized present and future. It's a global faith, and its growing visibility in the UK is a powerful draw for a generation that's more globally connected than any before it. So, the real reason UK men are flocking to church isn't one simple thing. It's a perfect storm of social, cultural, and spiritual hunger. It's a rebellion against loneliness, a search for a positive vision of manhood, and a deep human need for purpose that our secular world has struggled to provide. Young men are turning to the church not for an easy faith, but for a challenging one. They're seeking the structure, tradition, and real community they can't find anywhere else. This quiet revival isn't happening with a loud bang, but in the hearts of a generation looking for an anchor in the storm. This might not just be a passing trend, it could be a fundamental response to the challenges of our time. The real question is not just why it's happening, but what its impact will be on British culture over the next decade. And what does it say about the timeless human need for faith, hope, and belonging? If you have your own story or perspective on this, please share it respectfully in the comments. And for more deep dives into the cultural shifts shaping our world, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.